What's up, guys? What's up, YouTube? Just fucking getting up for the day. Not really. I mean, I was up a little while ago, but so I woke up in the middle of the night. So I was gonna order some food online from Fry's, right? And like place my order, but they have a free Fry's Friday download, and so I'm like, fuck it, I'll just wait till like midnight, get that shit, get my free item, add that to my order, and then order. But at like 3:30 this morning, I woke up. I never received an email, so I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna place my order. So I placed my order. It was for 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock rolls around, and I wake up like, oh shit. Like, my alarm didn't go off or anything. I just woke up, and I'm like, damn, I gotta go pick up this food. So I go pick up the food. It's like 8:30, 9 o'clock, get back. It's on an accident. It was kind of crazy. Somebody hit another car, and then they like ran into a light pole or something, but they had like 3 or 4 cops over there. But then I get back, I put the food away, and I'm like, all right, let me try to chill. So I listened to some music, and then I tried watching this fucking Ask the Doctor documentary. Fuck that bullshit, dude. This guy's talking about, so if you have a class of 30 students, and one student's failing, you're going to blame it on the student, right? You're going to think that the student's probably fucking around or something. But if 20 students are failing out of 30, you're thinking it's probably the teacher or the school, something else, right? And then he goes on to say, oh, 1 out of 3 people in the world is overweight, so why are you blaming it on the person and not the environment or whatever, you know? And it's like, bro, come on, like, the whole reason you're fat is because you fucking eat food, man. You fucking eat food, like, that's why. Like, I'm not saying, hey, just stop eating food, because, like, that's not healthy for you. But if you're saying, like, I don't know what hunger pain is, then that's your fucking issue. Look, you wake up, you're hungry, you don't eat, and then you fucking go an hour or two and it goes away. But these people are like, I'm hungry, and so you eat, and you get that hunger pain 3 times a day, and then it goes to 4 times a day, 5 times a day, and next thing you know, you're eating fucking 8, 10 times a day. Like, I understand that certain people, like, maybe you have a nutrition issue, so you're not absorbing a certain nutrition, so your body's constantly hungry for something. But it's not going to help if you just keep eating and eating and eating, you know? Like, yeah, I get it. You have that fucking hunger. You have that urge, but you don't have to give into it, man. I'm telling you, like, it's 9:53 right now. I didn't fucking eat. Yesterday, I had 1 chicken patty sandwich and a handful of Cheez-Its. And I mean, yeah, that's because my stomach was fucked up, but still, you know, I'm just like, yo, you don't have to fucking eat like 3,000 calories a day. You don't even have to eat 2,000 calories. I mean, I don't know what your life is like. Maybe you're burning a lot of energy, but you just need to fucking cut out these 9, 10 meals a day, you know? And then another thing, so I was watching that. I'm like, this is bullshit, you know? I can't get through it, you know? You're fucking saying pity me, like, one of the things he said is like, oh, and part of it is because of these urban cultures. Like, you live inside this city, and then there's no pathways to fucking, like, there's no pathways. Are you kidding me? There's no fucking sidewalk for you to go walk on. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. You could buy a treadmill, put it in your house. You're just making excuses for these fat people. And I'm not trying to hate on you if you're fat. Like, dude, I've been big. Like, not really fucking like fat, but you just gotta realize, you know, like, once I was getting big, I'm like, dude, I'm eating too much, I'm not really working out, or whatever. You just gotta realize, like, this isn't how I want to live my life. You're feeling unhealthy, you can't breathe, you can't, like, walk and shit, you know? And then what, you get depressed, and so you keep eating? Come on, man. I got depression, I got anxiety, I know how it goes. Like, I get comfort food, man, I get it, but if you're telling me anytime that you get hungry, you fucking eat, that's an issue. Don't be eating all the time, man. I mean, that's all I can say. Like, yeah, you should try to eat healthier and whatnot. Like, I could read my grocery list. Like, I'm trying to go gluten-free. I don't know if I have a gluten allergy or, what's that shit called? I don't know. Whatever the fucking the disease is. But I have one of the markers. And so 1% of the population has celiac disease, And if you have this marker, it goes up to like 3% or something. So it's really slim. But I went and talked to the doctor, and I'm going to try to get tested. But I had a nutritionist call me, so I'm going to talk to her about it. But I was watching this documentary. I forget the name of it. What's with wheat? What's with wheat? Like, they were saying that at the root of all autoimmune diseases is celiac disease. I'm like, what? Because I got IgA nephropathy, which is an autoimmune disease. And so maybe if I just cut wheat out and fucking gluten, rye or whatever. I don't know. I haven't done a lot of research. I don't really understand how they make bread that's fucking, like, okay, it's gluten free, but doesn't it still technically contain like wheat or rye or whatever? I don't know. I guess gluten's the issue and not the wheat. I don't fucking really understand. But anyway, then there's this other show, Schitt's Creek. You know, that's old. You know, like, you've heard of it. So I tried watching it. I made it through the first episode, and I was like, this is kind of whatever, but I could live with it. All right. Then I get to. I don't want this fucking sound playing. Then I get to the Then I get to the fucking second episode, and what's this guy's name? Eugene Levy, Daniel Levy. That's probably fucking why. Eugene Levy. Yeah, I bet you it was his fucking brother. What's his name? Daniel. So I'm cool with that guy, Eugene. No, it's not him either. That's fucking weird. Daniel is his fucking son. In this show, these two brothers, one plays the dad and one plays the son. That's kind of weird. So, I don't know. Whoever this guy is, the fucking guy with like the orange hair, I think he played on Something About Mary. I can't stand him. Like, he's playing the bad guy or whatever. And in here, you know, he's like trying to get this contract signed, and he's like, oh, you got to do something for me. And I don't know. I couldn't handle it just watching this guy, whoever the fuck his name is. I couldn't handle it. So I got to episode 2, and I'm like, I'm done with that. So, but I found this article when I was doing my research on celiac disease. And if you look up in Google, NPR, doctors once thought bananas cured celiac disease. They saved kids' lives at a cost. I mean, I didn't read through the whole thing, but I was reading through some of it, and it was insane. So this is how it starts out. The year was 1945, and a 2-year-old, Lindy Thompson, had been given a few weeks to live. She suffered from diarrhea and projectile vomiting, and she was so thin and weak she could no longer walk. Her parents had taken her from doctor to doctor. Finally, Dr. Douglas Arnold in Buffalo, New York, offered a most unusual prescription. She was to eat bananas. I mean, I talked to a nurse about this yesterday, or she brought it up, and I was like, oh shit, you know, like, that's kind of like this, but she said it's called a brat diet now. So bananas, rice, applesauce, tea and toast, tea and or toast or whatever. So she was to eat bananas, right? That was like the thing. And he says at least 7 bananas a day. And then they show this prescription. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to think that prescription is legit from 1945. Like, none of the ink smudged. The paper doesn't look that crazy. So, and then it says, Arnold recommended that Lindy move to clean mountain air in California and follow a high-calorie, banana-based diet invented by Dr. Sidney Haas in 1924. I'm like, damn, dude, I need to go move out to that clean mountain air out in California. So it says, on this diet, you're not supposed to eat starches, but you can eat things like bananas, milk, cottage cheese, meat, and vegetables. And in one of the documentaries, it was kind of crazy. They were talking about, I'm going to have to go through and rewatch it and take notes, but that wheat documentary, they're saying that back in the day, they started to increase the production of wheat so that they could provide food for more people. And this is one of the facts they said. There's like 8 billion people in the world, but we're producing 11 billion worth of food. So technically, there should be no one in the world starving because we have an overabundance of this wheat. So I don't know. And then what else did they say? Oh, they were talking about Kellogg. You know, like the guy Kellogg's that made the cereal. Well, that was one guy, and then his brother was the other guy, and he was trying to do the diet thing or whatever. And I don't remember a whole lot about it. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. But let's see. It was so effective in patients with celiac disease that in the 1930s, the University of Maryland endorsed the diet, according to pediatric gastroenterologist Alessio Fasano, chair of pediatrics at Harvard Medical School and a specialist in celiac disease. At the time, around 30%. This is a fucking crazy thing. At that time, so this is like 1945 in America. At that time, around 30% of children with celiac died. Like, damn, dude. I mean, I guess if only 1% of the children have celiac and only 30% of that died, it's probably not a whole lot. Because back then, you know, maybe they had 100 million, and then you're like, damn, dude. So parents were instructed to drop their children off at the hospital for 6 months. I'm like, damn, dude. If the children survived and thrived on the banana-based diet, the parents could then pick them up and take them home. What, otherwise they fucking died? Like, god damn, dude. Like, I can't even think in my mind what that shit's like. Like, you drop your kid off at the hospital for 6 months? Like, damn, dude. We know that, and then, I don't know if this is going to say into it, but maybe I already said it, but yeah, I did, right? At the root of all, yeah. So we know that celiac is an autoimmune disorder that strikes genetically predisposed people. It's triggered by gluten in grains such as wheat, barley, and rye. In the presence of gluten, the immune system of people with celiac disease attacks the small intestine, damaging the precious finger-like projections called villi that line it. This damage can lead to malnutrition as well as a... the fuck? I mean, that's probably like a bunch. Panoply. Panoply. A complete or impressive collection of things, a splendid display, a complete set of arms or suit of armor. Come on, bro, just fucking talk normal. As well as a panoply of problems. Why don't you just say as well as a lot of problems, or a bunch of problems, or multiple issues, or something? Because panoply of problems, a splendid display of problems, like that doesn't sound right. A complete or impressive collection of things, like maybe, but I don't know. From gas and bloating to fatigue, anemia, osteoporosis, and increased risk of certain cancers, the disease is estimated to affect 1 in 100 people worldwide. But it's crazy because they also said, they mentioned like stomach cramps, bloating, fatigue, anemia, whatever. But one of them they mentioned was anxiety. I was like, damn, dude. But in 1924, decades before gluten was discovered to be the culprit, celiac disease was a black box of mystery. The diet was unintentionally gluten-free and also incredibly high in calories, explains Tricia Thompson, founder of Gluten Free Watchdog. It is incredible what the mothers and fathers did. Oh, before I go there, I just saw a news article where this lady in Texas dropped off a kid, or like a toddler, at someone's house, rang the doorbell, knocked on the door, whatever, and then bounced. And apparently, she dropped the kid off at the wrong house. So she dropped the kid off at the next door neighbor's house. And the next door neighbor called the cops and was like, yo, what the hell's up with this? And he had it all on video. And basically, she dropped this kid off and like sped away before anybody even opened the door. And I'm just like, damn, dude. And then they also go to say that she was supposed to drop the kid off earlier in the day. And so the house was next door, so they were supposed to drop the kid off at the neighbor's house, but not the neighbor, but like next door to where she was dropped off. But then the dad ended up leaving because she didn't get dropped off, and then she dropped her off at night, and the dad was gone. So when the cops showed up, they like canvassed the neighborhood and was knocking on doors, couldn't figure out where like the family was, and like the mom was in the hospital, the dad was gone. I don't know, but it was kind of crazy. I'm like, damn, dude, who the fuck does that shit? So, in 1924, or in his 1924 paper, he wrote of a town in Puerto Rico, dwellers who eat much bread suffer celiac, sprue, maybe that's the word for celiac in there, sprue, while the farmers who live largely on bananas never. Haas skipped over the whole roll of wheat and focused instead on the exotic bananas, which he thought held curative powers. Not unlike the esteem in which exotic superfruits such as mangosteen, the fuck is that, and acai berry, I've heard of that, are held today. What about like, what is that root? You know what I'm talking about, that root? Ginger? What about that shit? Dr. Haas' approach, says Fosno. Oh, Dr. Haas's approach. I guess it's a book. Was based on the fact that bananas had the best characteristics to counterbalance the purging diarrhea that was typical clinical presentation of celiac disease at the time. So I'm not a huge fan of bananas, so that's not going to be me. I'm not going to be eating a fucking banana diet. Parents and children came to Haas from all over the U.S. He eventually treated over 600 people who had celiac disease. One of his banana babies wrote down her memories for gluten-free watchdog site, recalling how Haas's office was filled with children of all ages, and many, I remember, looked like they came from the concentration camps with their sunken eyes and swollen stomachs. Once on the diet, the children recovered. For a time, I don't want to read all this shit. Let's see what else. Is there anything else good in here? I just thought that was crazy. I didn't read any of this other stuff. It was only when she was 66 that her doctor gave her a test and took 7 and 10. All my life, I have told doctors I have celiac as a child, says Linda Redman, and that I grew out of it. And all my life, I have eaten wheat. It was only when she was 66 that her doctor gave her a test and took 7 intestinal biopsies. My intestine was very damaged, she reports. My doctors said she didn't know if it would ever recover. Well, she's fucking 66. She's only got like 1 or 2 decades left. It was then that Redmond wondered about the possible connections between lifelong untreated celiac disease and her 2 miscarriages. I mean, yeah, dude. So they also said there's issues with your joints. And I'm like, damn, dude. So, I have issues with my joints. Frequent bouts of colds and bronchitis. I mean, I smoke, so whatever. And I have fucking sinus issues. I found out I got a bunch of fucking polyps. It was a Dutch pediatrician, Willem Karel Dick, looks like Dick, I'd say Dick, but it's Dick with an E, who first realized that wheat might be linked to celiac disease. He noticed that in the last few years of World War II, when bread was unavailable in the Netherlands, the mortality rate from celiac disease dropped to 0. In 1952, Dick and his colleagues identified gluten as a trigger for celiac disease, and the gluten-free diet was born. So this shit's only like 48, 58, 60 years old. But Haas railed against the gluten-free diet and went on promoting his banana-based cure. Alright, so basically this guy got caught up in bananas, but there was some interesting facts in there. I'm like, damn, dude. And then if you watch that, what's this wheat about or whatever, that's pretty intense too. So I got the nutritionist. She's gonna call me later on today. I'm gonna talk to her about it. But I just went shopping, and I bought some things that were gluten free, like potato chips that were gluten free and cereal that's gluten free. So we'll see how that goes. I remember, I'd fucking eat cereal, and I always thought it was the milk. And another thing that I learned in that documentary was that there's something in unpasteurized milk that actually helps people with a gluten allergy. And I remember watching a documentary on Netflix about unpasteurized milk, and there was a lot of kids with issues, and they found out unpasteurized milk was good for them, but it's not good for everyone. And so this lady, you know, she had a kid that was unhealthy, and she starts giving him unpasteurized milk, and he's getting better. And now I'm thinking like, well, fuck, what if he has celiac disease that's just untreated? I don't know. So, fucking, that's why I like science and the human body and biochemistry. Like, this is just fascinating. Just researching this stuff. So, but anyway, man, if you're fucking hungry, don't eat. Go drink some water. All right, I'm out. All right, so this is gonna be a test video. I want to see if this is gonna work, but somebody from the VA just fucking called me. Some dude named Carlos. Call me back at 602-277-5551, extension 7. And I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? The extension's supposed to be 4 numbers long, and he's like, sit. And you can kind of hear like 7 in the beginning, and then you can't hear shit. And it's like, and he says it twice. I'm going to repeat, extension, and he fucking cuts out. And so I'm like, dude. And then I called right now, and the lady's like, yeah, he didn't put any notes in. So whoever this Carlos guy is, he's either going to have to call you back, or you don't know who he was, or who called you. And so I'm going to see if I can exit out of this while recording. Alright, well, I guess I can't exit out of recording. But I was going to try to play that voicemail. Be like, man, you can't even understand this guy. It's like, okay, your name's Carlos. Then you give me the fucking, you know, the regular number. But your extension, I can't understand you. Like, come on, man. Fucking bullshit. So I realized there's ENT probably calling me, trying to schedule an appointment. So looked up on Google, trying to figure out what the extension was. I just went to the Phoenix VA directory, found the extension for ENT, called them, and I'm like, I think somebody named Carlos called me. And when I was saying it, she said Carlos at the same time, and I was like, yeah. He said extension like 7, and I couldn't understand him. But I got the right one, tracked him down, so scheduled that appointment, November 28th. So we'll see how that goes. But still gotta make all these videos, put this shit together.